What is happening, everybody? Welcome back for another episode of Beyond the Trail podcast. I am one of your hosts, Julie Gayhart. Over here, I never get it right. Over there is the other host, Mr. Austin Wallis. How are you this evening?
I'm fantastic. How's it going?
It is going well. And I have to admit, well, first of all, I'm going to do something that we never do at the beginning of these episodes. And I'm going to give a huge shout out to Tangent Trails or Jerry, because
Whoop,
I am
whoop.
pretty positive that, Jerry, you have been here with us come whatever Thursday we decide to go live. So, Jerry, we truly appreciate it. And I don't know if I could do the Texas Longhorn because I'm pretty sure Jerry's in Texas. So I tried. I don't know if you could do it, Austin. I'm not a Texas
The
Longhorn.
Hook'em Horns. Well, so truth be told, I'm a Texas A&M fan, so I can't do the Hook'em Horns thing. It's just sorry.
There's always something.
My,
Sorry, Jerry.
my whole family's from Texas though, but we're Aggie fans. Sorry.
But Jerry, we're glad you're in here in the chat. And Austin, I have just been the big slacker on posting these episodes. So anybody watching this, I do apologize. We've said before, we do have day jobs, and I think my day job is getting in the way of a lot of things, especially my mental capacity to post on social media. So, Austin.
You know, we were having this conversation before we went live. Like, it's just gotta. We're keeping it fun.
Yeah.
As at the end of the day, we're just keeping it fun.
Yeah.
So
So I'm
I've never
excited.
been. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I've never been like super good about posting things on social media anyway. So yeah, if it happens, great. If it doesn't,
There we go. And Jerry says, thanks. He's a TCU horned frog. All right. Well, give it up for
right
the
on.
frogs.
There we go.
Even better. So this past month, we had a couple things going on, but I do want to say we are in episode number 6 of our Director's Cut series, and this is going to be our final episode. We are putting the icing on the cake. Now, the final episode of our Director's Cut series, not the final episode of Beyond the Trail podcast. We will be coming back next month with an actual guest. Her name is Mary from the Tri-State Outdoors Festival in Eastern Tennessee that will be happening, and our film will be showing there. So mark your calendars for the first Thursday in June. We are going back to the good old podcast style. We will have a guest. We will be chatting with her, and then that will round us out as we take a little summer vacation and have some adventures. So other than that, Austin, what has been going on before we get into today's episode?
Oh, just the day job. No, honestly, I'm really looking forward to kind of the weather warming up a little bit. Maybe get some spring camping in there. Definitely, you and I both have some epic summer plans, so I'm just ready.
Yeah.
Very ready.
Yeah, I am too. I'm so ready I can't hardly stand it. Like I can't even hardly stand myself. So I don't even know if anybody else can stand me at this point. Summer is always good. And yeah, we've got some epic stuff going on that we'll talk about when we get done.
Word.
So this evening, we had the film festival, which was fantastic.
Yeah, talk about that.
So real quick before we get started, because I'm excited to share with you all the footage that Austin has put together this evening. I think we titled it The Training. So we're going to give you a behind the scenes look at a couple of our training events with the Haywood County Search and Rescue Team. But before that, we actually were in a real live film festival that was actually sponsored by the Great Outdoor Provision Company. Again, big shout out to the Winston-Salem, North Carolina Great Outdoor Provision Company. Had a great showing at the film, and afterwards I was actually bombarded almost. Like people were coming down like, oh my gosh, this needs to be shown here, this needs to be shown there. I'm like, well, it's on YouTube and we've got over 30,000 views. And I got to tell them about I Am the MST, and we had a great Q&A. I think I sent you some of the clips, and I missed you. It did not seem right doing that without you, honestly.
I hated not being there. full disclosure, we had booked a beach house that week. And so that when that whole festival was going on, we were coming back from the beach. We weren't, and so I hated not being there. But I'm it. You know what? It honestly it fits our team dynamic. Because honestly, you're so much better at that stuff than I am. Just the talking to people and you're such a great salesperson, and so you make it sound good. But honestly, it was I was very proud just to even listen to you talk. You know, those clips that got posted. To listen to you talk about it, I was like, man, like I was just really proud to be a part of this whole project that we have completed at this point.
Yeah,
But you know, I think the project is complete. I think the media that we put out about it is pretty much wrapped up. But I like to think that the ripple effects are still going, and the YouTube views are evidence of that. You know, I think we hear about these just random people that uh, use Safe and Found like we've had teachers reach out, we've had outdoor education professionals reach out, we've had just about every demographic out there reach out and just tell us one way or the other how Safe and Found has affected them. And man, it's humbling
it
just
is.
to think about it.
It is,
So.
and it's been going strong. So I think I figured out like on the weekends on YouTube, it'll average over 200 views, 200 plus every 48 hours. And then during the week, it'll go down to like 170. And soon as Friday hits, it'll go back up again. So it's still on that trending, and I'm just going to continue to get real joy out of that. And we still get comments,
Yeah.
and people are very leaving strong accolades about the team and what they do and what they saw in the film. And yeah, we're going to wrap it up this evening with showing you a little bit of some training that we had to do. And again, this is where I turn it over to Austin, and I'm going to flip the screen here, and Austin's
Do
going to
it.
do his beauty magic and let us know what's going on.
So, kind of the backstory of the so we're going to show you two different training events that we were privy to when we were filming Safe and Found. And the first one kind of happened by accident. So we when we did our first initial filming with Nancy at her house, and we interviewed her. When we finished those interviews, Mike Street, who's the team director, came over to the house, and of course Mike's camera shy. He's not going to let us film him. We eventually got him though. We broke him down, got him on that roundtable discussion. Um, but one of the asks that I had of the team when we were trying to, I wanted to be out there with the team on a search, so that I could film just what it looked like to actually be out in the woods with these folks. And I told Mike, I was like, I will have my go bag of film stuff, and you just tell me when when you get the call, if somebody can just shoot me a text that says, "Hey, start coming west." I was willing to drop my life and get in the car and drive the 4 hours to Waynesville or wherever they were in the forest. And Mike's like, that's probably not going to happen. He was pretty polite about it, but essentially, he said that just for a litany of different reasons, everything from um, liability to the legality to just a whole host of different things, he's like, that's just probably not going to work. He's like, but we're actually doing a training event next month that could probably satisfy that requirement for you. And so, what this training event was essentially trying to supplement the Haywood County Search and Rescue Team members for an extended period of time on a search. So in theory, they're a finite resource, the regular members of the team, and so at a certain point they reach their capacity, physical capacity, and so they've got to take a break. And so this training event is centered around a lost hiker who happens to be Nancy. This notional search has been going on for 3 days already, and they haven't found her. And so the purpose of this training event was not necessarily to train Haywood County Search and Rescue, but to supplement their ranks with members of the Carolina Mountain Club. And this was a brainchild of one member who shall remain nameless because he doesn't want his name out there, and I respect that. Um, but it was his brainchild, and so and it's genius if you think about it, because these CMC folks are intimately familiar with these areas. They're out there for trail maintenance. They're out there, literally blazing trails. And so they already have a familiarity and a natural skill set to be outdoors in the first place. And so now all the search and rescue folks have to do is like, okay, you've got that aspect of it. Now let's teach you the search and rescue skills that you need. You already know how to be prepared and how to not be a casualty yourself. So let us teach you some of the mechanics so that we can plug you in to these extended searches as they develop. And so that's what this is.
Should we tell them it was absolutely freezing that day? We were frozen.
It was a little brisk.
Yeah.
It was March in Shining Rock Wilderness. So yeah. But we were given unrestricted access to everything that happened that day. And it turned into quite the production. Because not only was the search and rescue team out there, the sheriff's office was out there, the emergency management folks were out there. They had all their trailers. There was a huge production, and it was enlightening, but also just like, wow, there's just so many pieces, and the actual team on the ground looking on the trail or looking out in the woods is just, it's honestly a small piece of the puzzle. So what happened was, Julie, you stayed kind of at the command post and watched the command post part of it. And then I got embedded with one of the teams that went out there, and it ultimately found Nancy. But what was cool, and we'll get to the footage here in just a second. I know I'm doing a lot of talking, but what was cool was watching kind of their methodology on how they came up with a game plan. The people behind the training event know exactly where Nancy's going, and Nancy had Eric with him. Eric's the guy that you see here in this screenshot. So the two of them were essentially just going out to a spot in the woods, and then these two teams were coming from different angles or different avenues of approach to try to find her. So I was embedded with one of those teams, and so we got to see the whole operation from start to finish, and got to watch some learning. You could see some of the CMC folks were definitely like, this was the first time they'd been out in the woods before, but like learning how to search different techniques. And what I thought was really cool, and we'll get to it, was the tracking that Patrick specifically was doing. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and get started here. And a lot of this is just rough footage. I was kind of lazy when I put this edit together. So a lot of it, Julie, if you see something, tell me to pause and we'll talk about it, but we're just going to kind of roll through it.
Sounds good. I like the rough footage.
So,
it tells the story.
Every now and then we have big searches that go more than one day, multi-day, and this is kind of the culmination where we put all the pieces together with the planners, the people going in the woods, and make sure that all the teams are on the same page, and just even seeing faces that you hadn't seen in a while and working together. They've got the special operations medics out here today, just to get us trained up for when it is go time for a real search.
And what is your role today?
Today I'm going in with Nancy just to be an observer and make, we don't ever want to send somebody in the woods by themselves, so she'll be the subject that we're looking for, and I'll just be there in the woods with her, just have as a safety team.
Awesome.
Not that Nancy needs it.
We realize that, but what we're doing is our primary focus is on you guys, and what we want you to see is this setup. The searching, kind of know how to do that. What we're doing is giving you the exposure to what a day 3. Yeah, and we want, So, who are the more junior members that have not been to Oregon? All right, they spread up a little bit.
Like a tiger.
Oregon,
Pause it for a second. At least from my end, it sounds like the audio is out of sync. Does that sound right, Julie?
It sounds a little scratchy. I just thought it was from, the raw edit, but it does sound a little scratchy. But he just said, he's ruthless.
A man on a mission. Let me, I'm going to.
Yeah. So while Austin's working on that, essentially what you're seeing.
Proficient, because it's a perishable skill, unless they practice it.
Uh-oh. And when you got down on the other side, we're interviewing Nancy at that point. Yeah, Tangent says it's a bit garbled. That's a good word for it, garbled. Yeah. Thank you, Tangent.
Let's try this. We're just going to play the video the old-fashioned way.
That works. Plus, it's a little bit bigger on the screen anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we want, so who are the more junior members that have not been to Oregon? All right, they spread up a little bit.
Like a tiger.
Oregon.
Oh, a tiger, that's
Oregon, John. Oregon, John.
Hi, good morning. I'm Chris Alcasa. I'm the operations section chief for today. So we're still searching for Miss Nancy East. We've covered a lot of ground the past 2 days. The weather has really hampered the search. So today, we're going to hit it hard with some big teams, and we're very positive we're going to find her today.
That was actually in the film.
Assignments, we've got Team 7 coming in this way, coming around, and then Team 8 is coming in here, coming around this way. I'm going to go with the team leaders. Morgan, can you raise your hand? All right, that's the team leader for Team 7. And John is the team leader for Team 8. If we'll meet over there in front of the van.
We're looking at some potentially bright trails.
If you have recourse to a seatbelt, I want you to use it. Left carrier upset. Come on, maintain a sense of humor.
And one of the things that people can see is just all different kinds of backpacks, gear. Everybody's just carrying all different styles of how they carry their gear, which I found fascinating to look at.
Yeah. Well, and there's no wrong answer. 'Cause, I mean, if you think about it, some of them were carrying everything from like full on ropes gear to, stuff to carry someone out. If they had to actually carry a patient out, all the different medical equipment. We had like actual full-time medics in the group. Each team had a medic, so everybody had a little bit of everything. So, go.
So it's we're running down here.
One thing that they mentioned was that this was called a hasty search, and obviously search teams wouldn't be this large. It's just for training purposes. They had so many people. This is just one of two groups, but they call this a slow hasty search, which I thought was a kind of a how do you have a slow and a hasty search at the same time? But essentially, this search is the searchers are staying on trail for unless there's a reason to go off trail, and you'll see where we actually hear somebody's whistle that replies to our whistle, and so we do go off trail at that point. But for the most part, this is a hasty search is essentially that going down the trail and just looking to see if the lost hiker is just on the trail, because one of the things that they tell you is if you're lost, sit down, stay where you are, stay on trail. And so that's what this is.
0808.
0808.
Well, we've had a hike. 255 101 0906. But I'm right on the repeatedly.
Copy. Correct.
Peace off.
No, they had a sighting, but it was someone with a whistle, but not her. I have the privilege.
Let's listen for a minute.
9.
Nancy!
And I'll just say we did this a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of whistle blowing, a lot of yelling Nancy's name. But that's the technique is, you kind of do this, every, couple 100 yards and then stop and you just listen and see what you hear.
Whistle. Nancy!
Where?
You went into some hikers who were able to identify the subject.
I'm going to give you some.
Did you want us to resemble the subject? Did you want us to continue to the location they said they spotted her? Would you like us to continue on route?
More info.
No, they said they found some hikers that said they saw a subject that resembled the people we're looking for. Do we want to continue on their search pattern or head in the direction of where the hikers?
Did they
So you want me to help you make those phone
see
calls?
her? Here, it's my purpose.
Command, do you copy?
Team 7, where did you see those hikers at? Any coordinates?
So there's a lot of coordination going on where that command post, and Julie, I don't know if you saw anything that didn't make the camera, but there's a lot of decisions being made. The teams are almost like chess pieces, and the folks back at the command post are the ones that are moving the chess pieces. And so the teams will, in this case, both teams, it sounded like, found other hikers that had seen Nancy and Eric, and so they're trying to relay information about what they saw to the teams, and then the teams to the command post, and the command post makes the decision on where they go. So it's all part of this big, intricate symphony, practically.
Yeah, and at command post, it would be dead. Like, it would be silent, and everybody was just, chit-chatting or going to get, something hot to drink. But when the second somebody radioed it was like, whew, and everybody was serious, and it was what's going on and what's happening. I mean, I was like, holy cow. I mean, these people went into action in less than a second.
Yeah. So this next clip is just, and we actually interviewed him for the film, Patrick. He has some incredible tracking abilities. And so he was able to look at, I would step over something and not even think twice. It's just dirt. But he would see it, and he would look at it, and he would see footprints or specific shoe prints. He could tell male, female. He could tell what was a footprint, what wasn't a footprint. He could tell that there was a dog in front of us. So just all kinds of all kinds of different information that he's able to pull from just a small mark in the ground.
Yeah. That looks like Eric's dude, if I had to guess. That's only because I know he came through here.
Eric is
Insider information.
Insider information, still information.
No, I'm guessing it's probably a male track.
Eric,
Nick, did you say you ran this morning?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing his footprint.
Well, but I ran the south side.
Oh, okay, you didn't come through here. Okay, all right. Let's get a coordinates on this. Hey, John.
Here.
You have them?
Yep.
Right here. This is pretty fresh.
Are we ready with the coordinates? Command, this is Team 8. We have some fresh tracks at coordinates 25330851.
Copy fresh tracks at 25330851 1140.
What do you have?
I've got I would be almost 100% sure that I have a female's track right here. This is fresher than the last one. The last one might have been Nancy, but it was just a pretty big track right here. Got a heel strike, toe. It's real small. I got your coordinates right here.
All right. Command, this is Team 8. We found another more distinct track. Could possibly be a female's boot at coordinates
2536.
2536.
Break. 0855.
0855. They're explaining a little user trip.
So this is the insertion.
We have voice contact with
So
the
I'm
subject.
taking-
We're heading up to investigate.
Copy. Team 8 has voice contact. Can you give me a set of coordinates, please?
So what trail is that?
So this is mountain to sea.
Okay.
Your bearing is 270, not 90.
We'll try to stay within eyesight.
That's what I just did, because I was used to reading it from the...
So just to give a little context. So at this point, like we've blow the whistle, yell, and now all of a sudden we hear a whistle as an answer coming from the woods. And so at this point, we think it's Nancy. So this is Patrick. He's putting together essentially what we've decided to do is take a small party away from the trail and towards the sound of this whistle.
Top down.
Want to come with us?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can hear me gasping for air.
Hey, Nicholas, you swing around that way, I'll go this way.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Nancy! I see her. Yep. Patrick, John. Okay. Hey.
Hey, who'd you lose?
Oh, you're not who we're looking for.
No.
Oops.
Okay.
I heard you whistle, so I thought there was a problem.
No, we're actually looking for somebody.
Okay, so...
Her name's Nancy. Have you seen any hikers today?
No, I saw a man and a woman. They were coming down from, Hardy.
Okay.
And that was at least an hour ago.
They were coming down from Hardy. Okay.
Okay, so
There's the
who's
dog.
missing?
I know I've had dog tracks in here.
Yeah, who's missing?
It's a woman named Nancy. This is a training exercise right now.
Oh, okay.
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 But
Cool.
We're still doing it all up.
Okay, cool.
Hey, John, do you copy? I don't know if you heard, but it's not our subject. Repeat, it is not our subject.
I knew I heard a dog too. Yeah.
Well, I heard
Well,
you whistle,
we are
so
on the
it
trail
concerned
right
me.
here.
Did you whistle?
I whistled back.
She whistled back.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't know training exercise.
No, that's fine. You did exactly.
Oh, yeah, please.
Hey, dog.
Okay, no, that's awesome.
Will you help us out?
So one of the things that didn't make this particular cut, can't even remember if I filmed it or not, but what Patrick did was he actually interviewed this woman after we realized that she's not Nancy. Okay, what did when did you last see this? The two hikers. What were they wearing? What direction were they going? All this information helps because it can literally mean the difference. Where these teams end up going from there that might change their plans.
Team 7, this is Team 8. Do you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Could you give us 2 whistle blasts? We think we may be hearing your group.
Yeah, now we're getting close to the other team.
Yeah, that was them.
Copy. We are within hearing distance of you. We're heading north on the Green Mountain Trail.
But TL needs to radio it. I can't.
Nancy! You can be at the top of this. All right, hold on, Nancy. We're coming to you.
All right, let's do that.
All right, now we've actually heard Nancy, so now we know where she is.
Patrick, you have a radio.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you and Jonathan, he's a medic.
We're gonna make contact.
We're gonna make contact. In the real world, who would make contact?
Yeah, I don't want to record stuff. Nancy, can you hear my voice?
I can hear you. I'm right here.
Okay. We're coming to you.
I've never seen this.
Yep, can see. Visual
Okay.
contact.
You got visual?
Yeah, she's right there in blue.
Hey, John, do you copy?
You have the GPS, it's good.
You
Nancy.
Yes.
Hey,
Alright, we've been looking for you.
Yay! I'm so glad you found me.
I did, but he didn't respond.
Go team!
Alright, we've made patient contact down here. Do you want us to get the patient back on trail, or are we going to bring everybody down here?
Give us just a moment, please. Can you give us a patient update when you get a chance, such as vitals and things like that? Let us know
Seems good.
what resources you need.
She's the ambulatory that assistance, pink orange
They
dry.
didn't tell me I was supposed to be
Stand by.
like sick or
Yeah, no,
injured,
yeah.
so-
Oh no, you're carried out.
So are you, do you have any immediate injuries that you know of? Have you sprained?
No, I'm
You're on your feet and...
super confused. There's so many trails around here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
just didn't.
That's the doggone truth, because I recognized where we were, and it was where my brother and I had gotten lost several years before. So yeah, definitely a lot of trails out there.
Not
Neither here
laughing
nor
at
there.
you. I'm laughing with you.
Sure, sure.
Didn't want to get any more lost.
What do you think? So, teammate is, yeah. They will have to come back the mountains to see,
Right.
and then through this intersection scramble. What about having them meet here?
Yeah.
And then come out.
Great. Yeah,
together.
that's the Mount Hardy Trail in Mount Sissy.
It's in this.
So that was one of the things that Mike talked about in the roundtable discussion, was like when he was talking about the Snow Boys, and then once those two patients had been extracted, now you've got all these people in the woods that you got to get them out, and so that's what the command post is doing here. We're like, okay, we found our person. She's okay and she can walk and everything, all is well. But now we got to get everybody out. What does that plan look like? And so the two teams were in two different places, obviously. And so the plan was then to the other team essentially come to where we were, where the patient was, and then everybody would walk out together.
7 from command.
So how many
transport
vehicles are you going to need for all this?
Those coordinates are going to be a rendezvous point for you and Team 8. When you and Team 8 link up together, you're going to exfil together.
Copy that.
That's a whole bunch of search and rescue right there.
Okay. What were your instructions in terms of going out?
It's by far the biggest hike I've ever been a part of. That's a lot of people.
Oh, did you? What are you doing?
Yeah, well, it's what it is. I'll make as many turns as I can. Just start getting on. Make sure your team leader knows I'm taking you. Hey, John. I was letting you know we're exiting the forest. Make contact with any individual.
Not a big definition, but noticeable.
Hey, John, walking. Okay, well, I'm not going back empty, damn it. Somebody get
There
on
she
my
is,
truck.
safe and found.
Safe and found. Yay, my heroes.
Awesome.
It's always a 3 and a 4. What's with you guys?
7.
Uh-oh, did it stop on
to
us?
say that I, having been
Mine's still going.
involved in this world for several years now, it's easy to get complacent with calling out that person's name, especially in the middle of the night when you've been woken up and you've been out there 5-6 hours. But that's truly what alerted me to the presence of the team that found me, was hearing not my name, I couldn't decipher what it was, but just something, a voice yelling, and then the whistle blowing back and forth. So that's something I learned today, how important that is, because I was not far off trail, but two people had, at least two, where's Eric? You saw people walk right by me, and I didn't see it. because of where I was positioned. So, but they weren't calling me. So that made a big difference in being found. So just don't, you guys did great is what I'm saying. That was really important today.
That's critical.
All right, there it is. What an opportunity for us to just get an exposure. And the other cool thing, the really cool thing about this whole extravaganza was our partner in crime, Wim Shulkin and his wife flew from Texas to North Carolina to come meet us. And he and his wife came out for this whole shindig. So it was awesome to get to shake his hand and meet them. So that was kind of the icing on the cake for this whole thing.
Yeah, and Wim had his camera and he was snapping pictures and filming, and he set his camera up on this like little hillside at the parking area and got a lot of footage, and we just had a really good time that day despite the cold, and a really good day of learning, I would say.
For sure.
Yeah, and being educated. And yeah, Tangent, I see your comment there. Good lesson. Pack that whistle.
Pack that whistle for sure.
Yeah, I had not seen that last clip. I've never seen the clip where you guys actually found her. So that was really cool. And, interestingly enough, she had said, Eric said somebody walked right by her. She never saw him.
Mm-hmm.
So... And I know right where that point is too. When I hiked that portion on the Mountains of Citra, I just laugh.
The Bermuda Triangle.
It's so easy. It's so easy to get lost there. Very easy to get lost there. And now I'm just super hyper aware in that area, which makes it cool. So what else we got?
All right. So this is the other training event. And this one, I may be speaking too boldly, but I think they did this for us.
Yes, they did.
That's
not too boldly. That is fact.
So that was the other aspect of the search and rescue training that we wanted to try to capture, were the technical skills and specifically rope skills that these folks have, because that's not something you just kind of pick up and read a book and then learn how to do. You really have to get out there and do it. And they mention it a couple times. It's a perishable skill. And so they actually have to get out there and practice it a whole bunch. And so this whole event was set up as an exercise in evacuating a patient that's in a litter. So in this case, I'm noticing a trend where Nancy is always the person that's being saved. But in this case, Nancy is the patient. Nancy can't walk; she can't do anything, and so they've put her in this litter, the Stokes basket, and they're gonna put her on a zip line. I'm sure there's a better word for it, and then essentially line her across this waterfall. And so a lot of the B-roll footage that made it into Safe and Found came from this event. But it's really it's fascinating because they came out hours before we were there, because it takes a long time to set all this stuff up. And we're not right off the road. We're probably half mile off the road. So they got to cart in all of this equipment and stuff. And so all of these guys sacrificed a lot of their time, because this was a weekday.
Yeah.
They sacrificed a lot of their time.
So a lot of them took off work because it was a Friday, I think, was it not?
Yeah, I think so. And so they did all that for us. And so, they're already so selfless with just the nature of their work. But taking this extra step for us, for our benefit, so that we could film this, was just really awesome. And again, it's just so much fun. And so the other thing, and this is where I'm going to let my camera nerd come out just a little bit. It was a mad frenzy to try to film as much as possible. So Julie, I know you had a camera. I had a camera. I had my drone. And then I also was clipping GoPros to anybody that would let me clip GoPros to them. So some of the team members had GoPros on them. I had clipped a GoPro to Nancy's litter. I would get the drone in the air and then just leave it there like a stationary camera. There was all kinds of things going on. So it was a stressful event for me. Just
Man,
trying
and
to
we
keep
hit
it
the
all
ground
straight.
running too.
Yeah,
I mean, we
there
hopped
was
out of the
no
car, and I think both of us got car sick or something because I was like, I got to
Yeah.
get out of this car like right now. So, and then we went right into it. Boom, filming.
Yep. So here we go. And again, this is all pretty raw footage. There's some interviews in here that Julie you shot, but I think give some really good context.
Kyle, what are you guys working on here? You're getting ready to.
We're getting ready to lower a patient down this waterfall. So, there's not any good options to go around either side, and we're just going to go ahead and take them directly down it on a track line system.
Excellent.
So they've been here, I bet, several hours rigging this entire system, because you can see it's high up in the trees. I've heard that people were standing on shoulders to reach those points. And I wish that we could have been here sooner, really, to watch all that set up. But yeah, I just knew once we got here that everything was set up and they had tested it, and I knew that I could trust them really with my life. I mean, if something fails, that's certainly a hazard too out here with these training exercises, but I never worry, not with this team, not with these specific people.
You can put one in if you want. I mean, by the time this sags, we're still.
Let's retension there. That's all.
Before we get it off,
Pretty welded on. Our line going across is tight.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there's Bill.
Yep.
Kyle, how many guys are out there?
Just two.
Just two, okay.
Yep, that's it.
Oh, you might go tomorrow. Same.
hypothermic after this
We can use the tool that put yours just kind of right here.
I am patient, which I'm assuming I've been reckless around the waterfall since that's what I'm about to get taken down and pulled back up from. So, yeah, I trust these guys with my life any day, though, so I'm in good hands.
1, 2, 3.
So obviously the drone shots don't have any sound, but you can imagine imagine some waterfall sounds here.
And here's a behind the scenes. Nancy told me she actually took a nap while they were doing that.
I believe it. It looked pretty comfortable.
That's how much she trusted those guys.
It's that money. It's an interior lower system compared to the. Okay.
That's perfect timing.
That's about the same right there. Keep it right there.
Good point.
Yeah, that's the way they react.
All the weight is on you guys, and I'm going to come off the caribou. Ready? Yep. All right, coming off. Clear. And down slow.
Yeah,
hold on. We'll lift and let's go back into the woods. And just
prepare left.
All right, ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Watch the rope on the ground here. All right, and down.
All right.
Now she's walking and refusing to go to the hospital.
So I just got to point out this like underrated humor that these guys have. And it's kind of I want to say, patients that are rescued by these teams probably have a mix of emotions when they are rescued. Obviously, you've got people like Christine Bowman that are just absolutely grateful and humbled to be a part of it. But like just listening to some of them talk, you know, not all of the patients are gracious at the end. And so they're making jokes about, oh, now they're able to walk. Yep, now they're going to get in their car and drive away without saying anything. Yep, there they go. You know, so I just thought it was funny.
I couldn't know if I was done completely.
In their car, not saying a word
Yep.
to anybody.
Trying not to hit that nap, thank you.
Yes, we've already ended it.
Kyle, would you call this a success?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we, you know, it always takes a little bit of work to get everything rigged correctly, and a lot of minds and a lot of training hours on the front end to try to visualize something like this and set it up and get all the angles correct. But when it comes together, it works just like it did. I don't think we could have asked for a better outcome as far as the way the system worked.
And you guys have been out here a while to get this set up.
Yes.
So when it comes to a rescue, if you've got to do a ropes scenario, patients need to understand these things. It takes time.
Definitely, especially when ropes are involved. You know, there's good ropes and there's fast and dangerous ropes. We train a lot so that we can be as efficient and quick as we possibly can, but there's still time involved in these things, and you run into different environmental challenges that don't necessarily match up exactly with all the training you've done in the past. So you have to really understand the concepts that you're building and adapt to each specific situation.
The manpower it takes to pull something off like this.
It's a lot. And manpower that's trained for it, you know, highly trained.
Yeah.
So that part to me is always impressive, that we have this many people on our team who know how to do this stuff and are willing to go out and spend the extra time it takes to stay proficient, because it's a perishable skill, you know, unless they practice it.
And when you got down on the other side, you said you almost took a nap. It was that efficient.
Yeah, just that smooth. They make things so comfortable for our patients. You know, they put the inflatable air pad in the Stokes basket. They bundled me up in kind of the hypothermia burrito, because everybody we go after is suffering from some degree of hypothermia, almost always. So yeah, it was an incredibly comfortable ride, other than not being able to move my hands, you know, that part you just have to just get used to. But yeah, I was drifting off down there to the sound of water before they hauled me back up.
So Kyle, as you're putting this stuff away, what does this type of exercise do for you and the team to practice these maneuvers, building your camaraderie and trust with each other? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, that's huge. Obviously, like doing rope work is definitely a perishable skill. It's something that you have to practice, because when it's go time, you don't want to be fumbling around and trying to remember something that you haven't done in a year. So there's that, the technical aspect, but definitely being part of your team, and communication in what we do is always the hardest thing. Being able to communicate effectively as a team and work through an operation like that, everybody knows their roles, knows what they're doing. One person can't do all this, so being able to fall into place and truly work as a team and divide tasks and conquer it effectively is huge. So the team building aspect of this is probably as important as knowing all the technical stuff.
Now for hiking out.
We all know better than to try to keep up with Nancy.
Just a side editing note. So this shot is one of the last shots that made the film, and it was a bear because what I wanted to do was get his helmet and the search and rescue and walking through the woods and the rope, and it was just like this perfect shot. But I couldn't, I was trying to follow him while holding the camera and getting a steady shot, which is next to impossible. And so the editing was, I had to do some crazy stabilization wizardry, that's the word, work, to try to get a shot and slow it down enough to make it look somewhat decent. It still didn't come out the way I really wanted, but it was a frantic, oh, I see a shot, but I can't make it the way I want.
Who needs one?
And then,
another.
And then the team
Mama Nancy
giving out cookies at the end.
One, but if one is left off,
Why do you call them swag?
Depends on.
They make them at the swag.
Oh.
That's kind of what they're known for.
Oh,
yeah, they've
okay.
been making these for
I
4
kind of
years.
forget that Steve gave me my special needs.
Mine aren't as good as theirs, but they're close. They're close approximation.
I always forget that that's on there.
Thank you, ma'am.
People are always like,
Get a big one.
oh, I didn't want to.
That's it. So awesome experience.
Yeah,
Did I
I
lose
don't
you?
regret a thing.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I was just thinking that last shot standing at the road and, just knowing we were almost done filming.
Yeah.
And that was a good feeling. And just knowing that whole crew met us out there and took their day. And we had a long day of interviewing. We had been going all day anyway. And, we were wrapping that up. We still were driving home too. So both of us had 2.5, 3 hour drives home. And to look back at that, this is the perfect way to put a nice bow on this series, the director's cut series, because we've shown a lot of footage over these 6 episodes, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Well, and it meets our intent of what this whole series was designed to do, because the film itself is less than an hour, but clearly we filmed hours and hours and hours of footage, both interview footage and this kind of stuff. It was neat. I remember after the big training event with the Carolina Mountain Club, we all went out to dinner afterwards, and we were like, what do we do with this footage? We already understood that we had something on film that we just didn't know what to do with. And so this director's cut series is a perfect way to not necessarily put out a polished product, but we could if we put forth enough effort. But
I think it's perfect just the way we did it. I really do. Yeah.
It's enough to show what we wanted to show, and that is that when you hear about it on the news, lost hiker, and then maybe a day later, lost hiker found. It may not even make the radar for anything but local news, and then it might make a Facebook post somewhere, but there's just so much that goes into to being experts in this field. And these guys, they live it. It is not something that they just, do on the weekends. I mean, they are literally carrying this stuff around in their cars with them in case the phone call comes. So just, it's an amazing thing to just watch, and talk to these folks. It's awesome.
Yeah. So I cannot think of a better way, to kind of wrap up everything. Austin, I think what you just said was perfect. Our next episode, which will be the first Thursday in June, we are going back to a regular podcast style episode. We are moving forward, and I'm not promising we'll never talk about Safe and Found again. Because that's what the next podcast is going to be about. The film is going to be showing at this very, very, very large festival that we are excited about. So that is coming next, and we are going to be talking to Mary, and I'm not going to say her last name because I'm totally going to get it wrong, but she is the festival director. So she has been putting this all together, and apparently over 5,000 people are going to attend this festival. Whew. And next time we are going to hear all about it. So with that being said, I truly appreciate the majority of the folks probably watching this are doing so not while we are live. So we thank you. And if you have ever shared our film, even to one person, we thank you. It could save a life. And we're moving forward to June, and beyond that, we'll see what comes up. So yes, and thank you, Tangent, for that comment. Please make those donations to the Haywood County Search and Rescue. And who knows, maybe we'll be back with a chat with some of the guys and gals from the team. You never know in the fall. So Austin, I'm going to let you end out this episode, and I'm going to figure out where our outro screen is here.
All right. Well, let's see if I can remember it. Stay safe out there. I can't remember it now.
Yeah, I know. What do I say? Thanks for listening.
Thanks
Stay
for listening.
Safe out there.
Stay safe out there, and good times.
There we go.